Hey, what's up? My name is My Divergent Mind, and I guess this is kind of an introduction video about myself. I never made one because I started out with Sappho's and her fucking bullshit ways and the things she's doing right now. It's so ridiculous, and there's a lot more news about her actually that, well, I'm not really gonna discuss in this video. Maybe another video. She's so controversial. She's so stupid. It just, you know, it only makes sense to do a video on her because she deserves awareness in a negative manner. In general, I guess I'm gonna talk about how I became a furry. I never talked about that shit out loud or really discussed it. Maybe with friends, but not on a video. So I guess I'll talk about that today. How I became a furry started back in like maybe 3rd grade. I was watching Happy Tree Friends, and actually, first off, I found out Happy Tree Friends was because on the trending or featured area of YouTube, it would show you anything that's popping off. It didn't have any censorship yet, and there wasn't like, ghosted videos. But in general, I saw Happy Tree Friends, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And being young, you click anything that looks interesting to you, right? I clicked on it. Probably one of the craziest shit I've ever seen as a kid. It looked so peaceful, but when you watched it, it was fucking awful. In a good way, I guess, but maybe not today, in today's standards. In general, I thought that show was really fucking dope. I was a huge fan for probably my entire elementary years. And I drew fan art, never fan fiction. I was a fanboy flaky, if I must admit. And, well, that phase kind of went off as soon as I went into middle school. I guess I gotta skip middle school because during middle school, I kind of actually hated furries. I thought furries were lame, that they were gay, and I was young. I was trying to be like fucking cool, fit in, be stupid, be done with the teachers. I was kind of a troublemaker in middle school if I'm gonna be honest, because I just felt that way. I felt like being fucking dumb. I felt like being reckless. But in general, move on to high school. I guess I gotta skip all of the junior year because that's when Zootopia came out in 2000, or no, sophomore year. Yeah, excuse me, sophomore year, 2015. Became a furry, and the thing was, I was progressing to being that I knew furry porn was already in GIF, but I didn't exactly understand why they drew this shit beforehand. I guess I was like, why the fuck is there this shit, And then the more my brain pretty much evolved and grew up, and my consciousness started to become more aware, I was like, okay, I guess there's something to do. But Zootopia really got me going, I'm gonna admit that. And it kind of was a breeding ground for evil, if I could be honest. I started making fan fiction, and that's when I made my first character, Kane. He's a coyote. He differentiated, like he changed over the years. And he's definitely different from what he is now in the art style, of course, because I started drawing in 2015, published art 2016, and you can see the complete difference in the way they look now. It's actually fucking crazy how much I progressed. It took a while. It's because I gave up a lot, I guess. In general, I watched that. That was probably the biggest thing about being a furry, is like that. And I drew fan fiction. I drew fan art and fan fiction. I could show some pictures. I lost every single piece of fan fiction I made of that shit though, and it was actually really fucking deep and actually it was unreasonably detailed as a 16-year-old to 17-year-old. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I started drawing. I posted art, and I really liked it, and also I kind of took advantage of fashion because I started liking fashion back in 2017 when I finally got a job being 18 years old, and I just started picking up a style, I guess. I never really I never really wore clothes all that nice. I kind of just wore whatever the fuck I had around. I tried at times, but it was never anything that interesting. It was pretty fucking boring for the most part, and I've been called a bum. I'm like, look how he dresses in school, and it makes sense. I did look like shit. In general, I started including that into my art, and that's why you see a lot of that. If you do ever click my links to Deviant's Instagram, and I guess for Infinity, I don't really post on there, but in general, You can see I really focus on the clothing as well as much as aesthetic and character design. So yeah, and then, I mean, to be honest, when I finally got into the furry community, if I could talk about that, I never really liked it. Even when I became one, I thought it was really always cringe, if I'm going to be quite fair. I was really into furry fashion art, and that is a real subject. I still say it's pretty rare to see people really dedicating their art, their furry art and characters and fashion included. And it doesn't need to just be like a cool stance or a pose and having nice clothes on or brands. Like just implementing clothing into your art piece in the scene or something, or just something interesting, I guess, about the piece, just makes it so much better. It gives it so much character. It displays your character's likings and clothing, I guess, and what they desire, I guess. You know, that's what I like about that part. But in general, I moved on. I'm moving on to the next character, which is Lucas. He's a big part of this. So Lucas came along as when I was actually in a deep depressed state. I started watching, or the state of depression. I started watching All Hell King Julian. It's actually quite a funny fucking show. If you look it up on Netflix, it's still on there. It's actually a Netflix original, and it's actually really appropriate for being a child's show, pretty much. And it's pretty much King Julian before he met Alex and all the rest of the crew, pretty much. You know, it progresses. I don't want to spoil the show, but all I'm gonna say is it's a really fucking funny show. It's obviously goofy. It's meant for children, but there's a lot of, like, you know, inappropriate shit, and it's pretty funny. The characters, you know, they milk the fuck out of things, and it's not actually pretty good milking. That sounded wrong, but honestly, it's fucking funny. You should check it out. I made fanfiction of that show too, and also I made fan art that never got published. Maybe somewhat, but it's not really out there anymore. I didn't delete or anything, I just never decided to publish it, I guess. But I did make, like, Lucas a fan-made character in my fan fiction. He was supposed to be some demigod, or I guess a god. It was freaking cringy, and I don't regret it though, because he became one of my most favorited characters of all. He became the character I want to draw whenever I'm bored, or just do something with him. And you know, he's evolved extremely bad. He was just for the fan fiction, and then I kind of made him a main character in my persona, if you could say. Even though I don't even identify as him. I just think it's a cool character. I don't like the first sounded thing. I think it's kind of weird. I just think, like, I draw characters because they're cool, and I make their personalities out of people I know or just randomness and put them together. But yeah, he was there when I was pretty depressed, and I guess he's a closer character. Kane was just a character I made because he was like, you know, for fanfiction too. So two characters for fanfiction, and Jasper, forgot to add him. He's actually Kane's best friend, pretty much brother. His real brother, there's a whole long story with his real brother. I still gotta make him. He went missing because of some horrible shit that went on, you know, in this world of mine that I made for them. So yeah, in general, the when it comes to art and, you know, what I've done with my characters, I pretty much made a whole world for them, and that's like this big fucking, pretty much the earth that's been replaced with animals, and the world is completely a dystopia, if I could say. It's like completely controlled by mafias and organizations, and I made this organization called the Reaper Lynch Mob, and it's pretty much like the biggest mafia on the planet. I guess, like, it's first, and then there's a second one, which I haven't even started on yet because it's just so fucking complicated, and I still even really started on, like, anything resembling the, like, RLM, I guess. So it's a long ways to go, but it's a whole world. They're all fighting against each other. It's intense, and it's not very child friendly. It's pretty fucking adult only, mature as fuck, you know. I just gotta get to that point. So yeah, but yeah, all the other characters that I drew afterwards, I guess you could say Manya. There's Lucas's girlfriend, which I keep forgetting the name of, I'm sorry to her, I guess. And then there's also the dragon I just recently made, Elizabeth, and then this other dragon that's white, kind of bluish, I'm not sure, I have to look him again, but he's a pretty cool character. And then there's some other characters I forgot about, but they are all characters I just, because I wanted to make them, you know. And there's a lot more to come. it just takes so much. It just takes so long for me to do because I'm so fucking lazy and I'm a slow artist. I just, I like to take my time and think about what I'm drawing, and it might not be the best looking art, but at least it's a try, you know. In general, what I think about the furry community overall, I guess is my final thoughts, is I think it's a pretty cool place. I don't like the controversy though, that's the worst part about it. You get bullied for being a furry. I mean, in real life, it's not necessarily the same. Online, it's like the worst. If you're on Roblox being, a character that's a furry, because there's no way to upload your own character. When it comes to like the design, you just gotta buy from the marketplace. You get bullied a lot. There's some people that are cool with you, but it's rare. You really gotta defend yourself from the fucking trolls, especially with the voice chat now. And just consistent harassers following you around, calling you furry, calling you weird names. And it's not like it's annoying to me. Actually, it is annoying. But the thing is, it's like, it's not like it bothers me because I know how to defend myself pretty fucking well if I need to. It doesn't like want me to doesn't make me want to leave the fucking server just because I'm getting shitted on. It only takes like a couple words to hit them back with, and they fucking leave me alone. When it comes to VR chat, it's pretty fun. But in general, when it comes back to the furry community, I just think it's also a very cringy place still, like I said before. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can be as cringy as you want, or, what I define cringies are like role playing, pretending you're an actual animal, actually thinking you're an animal, or like, being very touchy, that ooh shit. I just think that's cringe still. I'm a human, and I'm always gonna think I'm a human, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna ever do that shit. And I also just think that the controversy in the community is insane, especially the people that come with it. There's a lot of very, very interesting characters in this community, and I just think not all of them should be accepted in here, even if they're not the worst type of people. It's just what they display, what they say, what they show everybody about themselves is kind of weird, and sometimes it's really fucked up. So I just think people need to watch out who they accept in this community, because it comes with somebody introducing them, and then they become some big controversial person. And because of Sappho's, I feel like the community it's gotten worse because people now really do believe this is the entire community. They do believe people in the community fuck animals, and to be honest, it's not that wrong, because now there's a lot of people coming out their shells because of Sappho's identifying as zoophiles all of a sudden, and it's crazy to me to see that shit happen, and it's making me not want to be, or at least identify as a furry. I'd rather really be called an anthro artist. I'm gonna say this, the furry community really is not meant for everybody. It's really mature, to be honest. It's very rated R, and you might disagree with me, but that's because that's your opinion, and that's fine. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, from what I heard, from every Discord server I've ever been to that has a lot of people in it, or just, in general, people, there's always some type of inappropriate activity going on. There's always NFW going on. There's always some bullshit going on that's sexualized or kind of weird, if I could be honest. And the thing is, you could do you, but I don't like when people say the furry community is all safe and it's it's like kid friendly, because it's not. I just think there should be a good warning in the furry community that yes, it is inappropriate at times, and it goes with every community if we're gonna be fair, but especially in the furry community, because a lot of people try to display it as like a friendly place, like everyone says they're welcomed, everyone says it's safe for children, safe for anybody, but there's so much cases, there's so much people, there's so much controversy, and I know it's not everybody, but the thing is, there's so much adults in this community, there's so much like men, there's so much, well, not as much women, but there's a lot of adults pretty much, and I think it's safe to say that like it's not that fucking safe, if we're gonna be honest here. There's been a lot of like bullshit going on in the communities lately. People who are, reporting sexual harassment, to seeing shit that they don't need to see, orgies, fucking hotel room set, like orgies, like sex out loud, people being invited to rooms that are like, well, for sex, and then like underage girls being asked if they want to come through. Like my friend told me, her friend being invited to a room, and I think she's of age, but it's happened to minors, and they don't question their age or anything, you know. Yeah, this community is full of very, very interesting characters, like I say, and they're really fucked up at times, and they're just odd at times. I just think the community needs to kind of help itself, kind of like sort its like, you know, shit out. And I'm talking to everybody pretty much. I'm not saying I'm the fucking best person here, or I'm trying to be cocky and act like I'm better than everybody. I just think it's obvious, you know. I just feel like more people need awareness that this is like overall the community, and you shouldn't be in denial of the shit that goes on, because it's not like uncommon. It happens a lot, you know. But in general, if I could just end the video, pretty much that's pretty much who I am, I guess, when it comes to the furry community and my art, and explaining myself and what I think about the furry community. That'll be it though, and I hope you have a good day or night or whatever. Give this video a like if you like to, or give it a dislike. Comment below what you think, subscribe if you like, and follow me on social platforms if you choose to. Anyways, that'll be it, and have a good day.